They rise from the desert like titans of stone, monuments to a civilization long vanished, yet still echoing through time. Built over 4,500 years ago, the Egyptian pyramids are more than just tombs. They are riddles in limestone, eternal questions carved into granite. How were they built? Why were they built? And could the ancient Egyptians, with no modern tools, no electricity, and no cranes, really have constructed such perfect, colossal structures? Or was there something else? Aliens, or forgotten knowledge buried beneath the sand? Tonight we dive deep into one of the greatest architectural mysteries in human history, the pyramids of Egypt. Welcome to The Mystery of the Egyptian Pyramids, Alien Theories versus Real Engineering. Echoes from the Sands. Long before steel, long before skyscrapers, there was Egypt. And in the age of pharaohs, millennia before the Roman Empire, massive stone pyramids dotted the Nile Valley. The most famous of them all, the Great Pyramid of Giza, is 481 feet tall, over 2 million limestone blocks, each weighing 2 to 15 tons. Built around 2560 BCE during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. And here's what stuns archaeologists to this day. There's no evidence of wheels used in construction. No cranes, no iron tools, no detailed blueprints. And yet, this pyramid aligns almost perfectly with the cardinal directions: true north, south, east, and west. A feat so precise, it deviates by only 3/60th of a degree. Even with modern GPS and lasers, that's hard to beat. So, how? How did they do it? Let's start with the theories, from the fantastical to the feasible. Alien architects. It's one of the most popular ideas on the internet, the ancient alien hypothesis. The theory claims that extraterrestrial beings thousands of years ago visited Earth and helped early civilizations build monumental structures. Supporters point to the sheer scale of the Great Pyramid, the precision-cut stones that even a credit card can't fit between, the lack of written records explaining the building process, and the technological gap between ancient Egypt and modern capabilities. Erich von Däniken, author of Chariots of the Gods, famously wrote, "The pyramids are too perfect, too advanced. They could not have been made by primitive people with copper tools." And the similarities between these sites? Perfect astronomical alignments, giant stones, mysterious carvings, often in remote or harsh environments. To many, it seems obvious there's something not of this world at play. But let's slow down. Before we call the mothership, let's consider what we do know. Because recent archaeological discoveries, real ones, are painting a different, far more grounded and arguably even more impressive picture. Lost engineering of the Nile. Modern archaeologists have spent decades studying the tools, methods, and workforce behind the pyramids, and what they're finding is astonishing, but human. Let's break it down. 5. Materials. Core blocks, local limestone, quarried right beside the pyramid site. Casing stones, fine Tura limestone transported from across the Nile. Granite, used inside the king's chamber, brought all the way from Aswan, over 500 miles south. And how were they moved? 3.2 transport. New evidence suggests ancient Egyptians used wet sand sleds to drag stones across the desert. Adding water to sand reduces friction by as much as 50%. That's not alien tech. That's clever physics. On the Nile, stones were floated on barges, timed with the annual flood season, which brought the water closer to the pyramid site. 3.3 workforce. Forget the myth of slaves. New discoveries tell a different story. In 1990, archaeologist Zahi Hawass uncovered workers' villages near Giza, bakers' ovens, medical supplies, animal bones, rich diets of beef and fish, evidence of rotating shifts. These weren't slaves. They were skilled laborers, farmers working in the off-season, artisans, engineers, paid, fed, respected. Estimates suggest around 20 to 30,000 workers, not hundreds of thousands as once believed. And they built the pyramid in about 20 years. Lifting the impossible. The real question, how do you lift a 15-ton block 480 feet into the air? The ramp theories. There are several competing ideas. Straight ramp, a massive ramp leading to the top. Problem? It would need to be over a mile long at a shallow enough angle. That's more stone than the pyramid itself. Spiral ramp, circling the pyramid as it grew. Easier materials-wise, but hard to maneuver tight turns with large blocks. Internal spiral. French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin proposed an ingenious theory, an internal spiral ramp, still hidden within the pyramid's outer shell. No physical proof, yet. But tantalizing scans show anomalies inside the pyramid, consistent with hidden passageways. Cutting stone with copper. Here's another mystery. How did they shape the stone, especially the granite blocks, some weighing over 70 tons? Copper tools. The Egyptians used copper chisels and dolerite pounding stones. Sounds weak? Watch an experiment. A modern archaeologist takes a dolerite ball and pounds a granite slab. After hours, a smooth hollow begins to form. Time-consuming? Absolutely. But scalable if you have thousands of workers and years to do it. Sand sawing. For limestone, sand might have been used as an abrasive, rubbed between copper saws and the stone. A copper tool might not cut alone, but copper plus quartz sand? That's nature's sandpaper, a timeline in stone. Let's zoom out. The Egyptian pyramid era lasted about 1,000 years. Djoser's Step Pyramid, 2670 BCE, the first monumental stone structure. Sneferu's Bent Pyramid and Red Pyramid, 2600 BCE, the transition to smooth-sided designs. Khufu's Great Pyramid, 2025-60 BCE, the apex. Menkare's Pyramid, 2025-10 BCE, the last of the Great Three. Each pyramid reflects iteration, not alien leaps, but centuries of trial and error, bent angles, collapses, shifts in design. Narrator. In other words, The pyramids evolved, just like human engineering always does. The genius of ancient minds. What if the real mystery isn't how advanced they were, but how underestimated the ancient Egyptians have been? They understood astronomy. The stars of Orion's belt may have inspired the alignment of the three Giza pyramids. They understood math. The Great Pyramid's base circumference divided by its height equals 6.28, almost exactly 2 pi. They understood labor, logistics, leadership, and they built monuments that still stand 4,500 years later. Without modern tools, without modern machines, not because of aliens, but because they were brilliant. Secrets beneath the surface. The Great Pyramid doesn't just rise into the sky, it dives into the earth. Deep beneath its base lies a series of chambers, some unfinished, some shrouded in mystery. The subterranean chamber is hewn directly from the bedrock, rough, unpolished, a space that appears more symbolic than functional. Above it, the Queen's Chamber and the King's Chamber, connected by narrow shafts, too small for human passage, but aligned with specific stars. In 2017, scientists using muon tomography, a kind of cosmic ray scanning, discovered something incredible. A hidden void, at least 100 feet long, directly above the Grand Gallery, an unknown space, unexplored, unreachable, untouched for 4,500 years. What's in it? No one knows. Treasure? A symbolic chamber? Or perhaps the hidden scaffolding that proves the internal ramp theory? We may not have the tools to answer that yet, but science is closing in. The mathematics of eternity. The Great Pyramid isn't just a tomb, it's a mathematical marvel. Let's look at the numbers. The base measures 230.34 meters on each side. The height, originally 146.6 meters, gives the pyramid a slope of around down 51.5 degrees. That slope creates a triangle where the height to half the base equals phi, the golden ratio. The pyramid's perimeter divided by its height equals 2 pi, echoing the formula for a circle. A circle drawn with stone. Coincidence or intention? It's still debated. But even if unintentional, it reveals the Egyptians' deep grasp of proportion, symmetry, and sacred geometry. They weren't just building tombs. They were encoding cosmos into limestone. Stars, souls, and sacred design. The ancient Egyptians believed that pharaohs became gods after death. And to become a god, one must ascend to the stars, specifically to Orion and Sirius. The Giza pyramids align closely with Orion's belt. The three main pyramids mimic the three stars, Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka. Their offset alignment matches what was visible in the sky around 2500 BCE. Was this intentional? Most likely. The pyramid texts, some of the oldest religious writings in the world, describe the pharaoh's soul flying to Orion to become imperishable. And those strange, narrow shafts in the king's chamber, they don't point to random stars. One aligns with Orion's belt at the time, another with Thuban, the North Star of 2600 BCE. The pyramids weren't just tombs, they were stairways to the stars, engineering feats of the workers. It's easy to marvel at the final product, but what about the people behind it? These workers, from architects to masons, surveyors to bakers, were the unsung heroes. Recent discoveries at Hayt el Gharab, dubbed the lost city of the pyramid builders, revealed modular housing, communal bakeries producing 10,000 loaves a day, breweries, evidence of organized labor crews, some named after pharaohs, like the Friends of Khufu. It wasn't slavery, it was national pride. Working on the pyramid may have been akin to serving in a modern military, an act of civic duty and honor. These men and women left behind bone tools, graffiti, even jokes carved into stone blocks. Their legacy is still standing. Engineering feats of the workers. It's easy to marvel at the final product, but what about the people behind it? These workers, from architects to masons, surveyors to bakers, were the unsung heroes. Recent discoveries at Hayt el Gharab, dubbed the lost city of the pyramid builders, revealed modular housing, communal bakeries producing 10,000 loaves a day, breweries, evidence of organized labor crews, some named after pharaohs like the Friends of Khufu. It wasn't slavery, it was national pride. Working on the pyramid may have been akin to serving in a modern military, an act of civic duty and honor. These men and women left behind bone tools, graffiti, even jokes carved into stone blocks. Their legacy is still standing. Experimental archaeology, rebuilding the past. To truly understand how the pyramids were built, archaeologists have tried to do it themselves. The Nova Pyramid Project, 1997, built a small pyramid using only Bronze Age tools, dragged 2-ton blocks using sleds, ropes, and ramps. Result? It's possible. Difficult, slow, but possible. Jean-Pierre Houdin's virtual model showed how internal spiral ramps and counterweights might work, supported by 3D scans showing structural anomalies. Ancient water-lifting models, some theorize shadufs, counterweighted poles, were used to lift water or possibly stones on smaller scales. All these experiments confirm one thing: human ingenuity is vastly underestimated. The evolution of a megastructure. The pyramids didn't just appear fully formed, they evolved. Step Pyramid, Djoser, 2670 BCE. Architect, Imhotep, the world's first named engineer. A series of mastabas, flat-roofed tombs, stacked in layers. The first structure made entirely of stone. Meidum Pyramid, attempted smooth sides, collapsed during construction. Bent Pyramid, changed angle halfway up to prevent collapse, a sign of learning, engineering in real time. Red Pyramid, smooth, consistent slope, Egypt's first true pyramid. Then came the Giza giants, the apex of pyramid architecture. Afterward, the pyramid age faded. Pharaohs began building hidden tombs in cliffs, like in the Valley of the Kings. Why? Maybe cost, maybe security, maybe the golden age had passed. Why we want aliens to be real? Let's take a step back. Why do so many people want aliens to be behind the pyramids? maybe it's not just about evidence. It's about awe. The pyramids defy modern imagination. They shatter assumptions of what ancient people could do. Saying aliens did it is a shortcut, a way to keep the wonder while bypassing the reality. But the truth is more amazing. That ordinary humans, using stone tools and star maps, moved mountains. That farmers became builders. That desert dust became eternal monuments. The real story isn't alien, it's human. Myths, curses, and cultural legends. For centuries, the pyramids weren't just ruins, they were portals to legend. When Western explorers first entered the tombs in the 19th century, a myth spread like wildfire: the curse of the pharaohs. Supposedly, anyone who disturbed the tomb would suffer illness or death. And then it happened. Lord Carnarvon, who funded the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, died mysteriously soon after. Other members of the team also fell ill. The press had a field day. Pharaoh's curse strikes again. But scientific explanations like mold spores in sealed tombs or coincidence soon followed. Still, the mystique endured. Even today, the idea of forbidden secrets hidden in the pyramids remains deeply embedded in popular culture, from Indiana Jones to the Mummy to countless conspiracy theories on YouTube. But real history is often stranger and deeper than fiction. Global pyramids, a shared symbol? The pyramid is not uniquely Egyptian. Around the world, cultures with no known contact built pyramidal monuments. The Maya built step pyramids at Chichen Itza and Tikal. The Nubians of Sudan built over 200 steep pyramids at Meroe. In China, massive burial mounds house emperors from the Han Dynasty. On the island of Java, Borobudur resembles a stepped mountain. Why? Is it evidence of a global ancient civilization? A lost Atlantean culture? Or is the pyramid just a universal human idea? A wide base, a tall point, stable, durable, monumental. A pyramid is the most structurally stable shape for stacking heavy materials skyward, whether stone or mud brick. It's not a secret passed through space, it's geometry. What the pyramids meant to the Egyptians. To us, the pyramids are ancient history, but to the Egyptians, they were the afterlife made real. Pharaohs were more than kings, they were living gods. Upon death, they didn't vanish. They ascended. And the pyramid wasn't just a tomb. It was a machine for resurrection. Its design mirrored the Egyptian worldview. The East, where the sun rises, life. The West, where the sun sets, death. Pyramids were built on the west bank of the Nile, the land of the dead. Each stone was part of a cosmic plan to ensure the pharaoh's eternal life and the continuation of Ma'at, or divine order in the world. The pyramid wasn't about ego, it was about cosmic stability. The pyramids we haven't found yet. Here's something wild: we haven't found all the pyramids yet. In 2010, satellite imaging revealed possible undiscovered pyramids buried beneath the sands of Egypt. In 2023, A team using ground-penetrating radar located previously unknown voids in Saqqara. And Egypt has over 130 pyramids already cataloged, from major royal monuments to forgotten step pyramids. Some are almost completely eroded. Others were lost under sand until recently. The desert still holds secrets, and every year we find more. What technology is revealing today? We're in a golden age of non-invasive archaeology. Tools like muon tomography, LiDAR, 3D scanning, ground-penetrating radar are allowing scientists to peek inside ancient structures without lifting a single stone. What have we found? The big void above the Grand Gallery, possible hidden corridors in the Great Pyramid, new subsurface ruins near the Sphinx. We may be closer than ever to confirming or disproving theories like the internal ramp, and future AI-enhanced analysis could eventually reconstruct how every stone was placed. Not in fiction, but in fact. Chapter 22, The Pyramid Legacy. 4,500 years later, they still stand. They've survived floods, earthquakes, invasions, theft, time, and they've inspired modern architects, philosophers, conspiracy theorists, artists, mathematicians, historians. No other structure in human history has endured this long, with this much power over the imagination. And every generation returns with the same question. How did they do it? The pyramid in pop culture. From Stargate to Transformers, the pyramids have been turned into alien landing pads, time machines, secret vaults, doomsday devices. But even pop culture reveals something deeper, our need to find meaning in mystery, and our yearning to be connected to the deep past. The pyramids remind us we are part of a long, slow story, a story carved not in paper or screens, but stone. What remains unsolved? Not every question has been answered. There are still mysteries. What exactly is the big void? How were the interior chambers designed so precisely? Were some parts of construction ritualized beyond functionality? What other structures lie beneath the sand, yet to be discovered? But every year we learn more, not by guessing, not by wishing, but by digging, scanning, testing, exploring. Human methods for human mysteries. Why it still matters. The pyramids are not just relics. They are reminders that we once built monuments to the sky, using nothing but our hands, our minds, and our will. That knowledge, real, hard-earned knowledge, lasts. That mystery and truth can live side by side, and that in the bones of the earth, human greatness leaves its mark. Narrator, soft, resolute. In the end, it wasn't aliens. It was something far more powerful. Us. The Sphinx, guardian of secrets. Just meters from the Great Pyramid sits another wonder, older, more mysterious, and equally debated. The Great Sphinx of Giza. 240 feet long, 66 feet high, carved from a single limestone outcrop. But here's the enigma. We don't really know when it was built, or for whom. Traditional Egyptology dates the Sphinx to around 2500 BCE, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, whose pyramid stands nearby. But others argue it may be far older. The water erosion hypothesis. Some geologists, like Robert Schuck, have observed vertical weathering patterns on the Sphinx enclosure, typical of heavy rainfall, not wind-blown desert sand. But Egypt hasn't seen rainfall like that since 7000 to 5000 BCE. Could the Sphinx predate even the pyramids? Mainstream scholars are skeptical, but the debate continues. And as technology improves, new scans may settle the argument once and for all. Either way, the Sphinx, half lion, half man, is more than just a statue. It's a symbol of guardianship, mystery, and human mastery over stone. What is it guarding? Perhaps not treasure, but the truth. The pyramid builder's message to the future. We often think of ancient people as primitive, but imagine this. You're a builder in 2560 BCE. The desert sun is blazing. You're moving 2-ton stones. You know this project will take decades. You will not live to see it finished. So why do it? Why give your life to something so massive? Because you believe it matters. The pyramids weren't just for pharaohs, they were statements to the gods, to future generations, to us. They said, we were here, we understood the sky, we could shape the earth, we had order, belief, purpose. Future science meets ancient stone. The 21st century has brought a revolution in how we explore the ancient world. We no longer need to dig to uncover secrets. We can scan, simulate, and analyze, all without touching a single stone. Remote sensing revolution. Using satellite thermal imaging, archaeologists can detect subsurface anomalies, places where buried structures disturb heat distribution. These scans have revealed entire city layouts hidden beneath desert sands. In Giza, satellites have pinpointed patterns that may correspond to quarries, lost walls, or even unexcavated buildings, indicating that the pyramid plateau was part of a much larger ceremonial complex. Muon tomography. This method, first used in particle physics, tracks the behavior of cosmic particles as they pass through solid objects. In 2017, this technique discovered the now famous Big Void inside the Great Pyramid, a mysterious chamber the size of a Boeing 747, hidden above the Grand Gallery. It's still unexplored. Future muon scans with higher resolution could map all internal spaces of the pyramid, finally proving or disproving hidden ramps, vaults, or relics. 3D digital preservation. Every millimeter of the pyramids is now being digitally scanned. The goal, to create perfect 3D models that future generations can study, explore in VR, and preserve against erosion, tourism damage, and climate change. We may never touch the core of the Great Pyramid again, but our digital descendants will walk through it. Environmental challenges and the survival of the pyramids. The pyramids have survived 45 centuries of change, but the next 100 years may be their most dangerous. Climate change. Egypt's climate is shifting. Rising temperatures and extreme winds are eroding the limestone faster than ever. The desert is creeping, threatening to bury lesser-known pyramids. Rare but violent rainstorms cause sudden floods that wear away foundation stones. Urban expansion. Modern Cairo is expanding rapidly. The edge of the city now presses against the ancient necropolis. Pollution from vehicles and industry stains the stone with corrosive soot. Illegal construction near ancient sites threatens the archaeological landscape. Mass tourism. Over 14 million tourists visit Egypt annually. While vital to the economy, heavy foot traffic can destabilize ancient structures, introduce moisture, and accelerate decay. But Egypt is responding. The Grand Egyptian Museum, opening near Giza, will redirect crowds away from the pyramid interiors, preserving them. And with help from UNESCO and satellite monitoring, authorities are mapping out long-term conservation strategies. The race is on, because while the pyramids were built to last forever, forever is under threat. The psychology of monument building. Why do humans build things bigger than themselves? To bury the dead, to touch the divine, to be remembered. The pyramids may be ancient tombs, but they're also monuments of the mind, proof that long before Freud, humans grappled with mortality and meaning. The fear of forgetting. The ancient Egyptians believed that to be forgotten was to die twice. The pyramid then becomes a kind of stone memory, something that says, I was here, I mattered. This need spans all cultures. Viking runestones, Maya stelae, modern war memorials. Each is a human attempt to fight time. Order over chaos. Egypt's whole religion was built on the struggle between Ma'at, order, and Isfet, chaos. The pyramid, perfect, geometric, eternal, was the ultimate symbol of Ma'at, a world in balance. In contrast to the wild chaos of nature, the pyramid stood tall, unmoved, a psychological anchor for society. In an unpredictable world, it was certainty. The unfinished pyramids. For every great pyramid, there are many that failed. Across Egypt, dozens of pyramids lie in ruins, abandoned projects, collapsed experiments, or victims of looting and erosion. But these forgotten monuments tell us just as much, maybe more, than the perfect ones. Pyramid of Meidum. Once believed to be the first smooth-sided pyramid, today only its central core remains, the rest collapsed. Why? Probably due to poor planning, too steep a slope, or structural instability. It was a lesson. Pyramid of Djedefre. The son of Khufu began his own pyramid near Abu Rawash, but it was never finished. Some say it was looted. Others believe political instability stopped construction. Its destruction shows that not all legacies endure. The layer pyramid, the mud brick pyramids of Nubia. Smaller structures crumbling today reveal how regional governors and lesser kings tried to emulate the royal style but lacked the resources or the knowledge. The lesson? Even in Egypt, the pyramid was not inevitable. It was hard, it was risky, and it was never guaranteed. The Pyramid Code. what it says about us. The deeper we look into the pyramids, the more they reveal about us. Not just about ancient Egypt, but about humans. We dream big. The pyramids prove we've always wanted to do the impossible, to reach beyond death, to align with the stars, to make time notice us. And we still do it today, with skyscrapers, space stations, and particle colliders. We are builders. Whether with stone or silicon, humans are wired to construct meaning. The pyramid is not just a pile of blocks, it's a thought made physical. It's belief, stacked 481 feet high. We are storytellers. Each generation invents new myths, aliens, lost civilizations, Atlantean engineers. But the truest story, the human story, is the most miraculous of all. That without modern tools, without computers, without Google, people dreamed, planned, sweated, and bled, and built something that outlasted empires, that still casts a shadow and still commands silence. Narrator, softly. This is the code the pyramids carry, not a secret from the stars, but a message from our ancestors, saying, you too can build something eternal.